Welcome to the Homeland Intelligence Report, where we examine current events through the lens of educated, sound-minded citizens, seeking to understand the intents and meaning behind the events taking place around us each day. In this and every episode, we strive to provide you with brief, relevant intelligence information free of conspiracy theories and unvetted analysis, which allows the mature, educated American to make good decisions regarding the state of the world and threats to the homeland. This comes curated for you by a current active supervisory rank law enforcement officer with extensive experience in critical incident management, tactical operations, and public order. I am also a former infantry non-commissioned officer decorated in combat during OIF and U.S. government contract staff member who specialized in intelligence and low visibility, high-threat security. I have significant formal education as well as practical experience in all phases of the intelligence cycle. Through these lenses, I endeavor to read between the lines for you, the consumer, to help you form your own well-informed outlook on the world. No actively classified material will be shared on this channel, period. On May 17th, 2025, a lone terrorist detonated a powerful vehicle-borne improvised explosive device, or VBIED, in Palm Springs, California at 10:52 a.m. local time. What we, the public, would later learn is this was a suicide attack carried out against the American Reproductive Center facility on North Indian Canyon Drive. Owing to the quick response by local law enforcement, fire, and the staff of the center, all stored embryonic material and other sensitive human products were preserved. The only casualty was the terrorist, who will receive no additional name proliferation on this channel. The bomber was described as a 25-year-old former computer technician driving a 2010 Ford Fusion sedan. Interestingly, the FBI disclosed the bomber espoused nihilistic pro-mortalist views in an online video manifesto. As a pro-mortalist, he believed humans did not consent to exist. Further, he was described as an anti-natalist. This is a term until today I had not encountered. In the realm of reproductive rights in America, we have seen significant anti-abortion violence carried out by groups like the Lambs of God and individuals like Eric Rudolph. We have seen pro-choice violence more in the form of personal attacks on their ideological opposites. However, anti-natalists believe reproduction or procreation is unjustified and unethical. This ideology came into being largely due to the work of French author and activist Théophile de Giraud in his 2006 writings. One philosophical argument is that once a sentient being is born, it begins to end. This is a bleak way of arguing that since birth leads to death, existence is cruelty in itself. Siana Schifrin, a professor of philosophy, law, and social justice at UCLA, lists 4 factors that, in her opinion, make the justification for having hypothetical consent to procreation a problem. Great harm is not at stake if the action is not taken. If the action is taken, the harms suffered by the created person can be very severe. A person cannot escape the imposed condition without very high cost. Suicide is often a physically, emotionally, and morally excruciating option. The hypothetical consent procedure is not based on the values of the person who will bear the imposed condition. In modern history, there have been isolated incidents where individuals with extreme views on population control or anti-natalism have engaged in violence acts. However, these cases are extremely isolated, not widely reported or well documented. Additionally, violence acts are never investigated for motive, instead focusing on the culpability of the offender. Therefore, many times a motive goes undeclared. Furthermore, most anti-natalists advocate for nonviolent and voluntary measures to reduce birth rates. In the Palm Springs case, however, it seems clear the motive for the attack was not to kill living humans, but rather to prevent the clinic from assisting those with difficulty bearing children and to damage the priceless reproductive material within. Are anti-natalist violence, extremist attacks, something Americans should concern themselves with going forward? Beyond simple awareness, I assess the probability of future such attacks to be low. Vigilance, general preparedness, and a deep well of knowledge regarding a broad array of relevant topics are never a disadvantage, though. Until our next discussion, be well and well informed.